What happened when your unit finally had enough of a toxic leader? Staff Sergeant Briggs was the kind of NCO who made people want to quit the Army. Not because he was tough or demanding, because he was cruel for no reason except his own entertainment. He'd been running our supply section for 2 years at Fort Carson, made everyone's life miserable, played favorites, wrote up soldiers for imaginary violations, and took credit for other people's work. The worst part was how smart he was about it. Never crossed the line enough to get caught. Always had plausible deniability. Knew exactly how far he could push before someone could file a legitimate complaint. Private Everett got written up 3 times in 1 month, each time for things that weren't his fault. Briggs would assign him impossible tasks with unrealistic deadlines, then punish him for failing. Specialist Mercer requested leave to attend his sister's wedding. Briggs approved it, then changed the dates at the last minute. Claimed there was a scheduling conflict. Mercer missed the wedding. Corporal Vaughn brought concerns to the first sergeant. Briggs found out. Made Vaughn's life hell for months afterward. Extra duty, worst assignments, constant harassment just inside regulation boundaries. We all saw it happening. But Briggs had been there longer than anyone. Had connections with the battalion leadership. Knew how to make complaints disappear or turn them back on the person reporting. The breaking point came when Private Sterling got engaged. Kid was 20 years old. Excited about his future. Showed everyone pictures of his fiancée. Talked about wedding plans constantly. Briggs started making comments. Insulting the fiancée's appearance. Saying Sterling was too stupid to stay married. Predicting the relationship would fail before deployment ended. Sterling tried to ignore it, but Briggs wouldn't stop. Made it a daily thing. Other soldiers told him to back off. Briggs just laughed and kept going. One morning, Sterling came to formation with red eyes. Hadn't slept. His fiancée had broken up with him the night before. Called off the engagement. Briggs heard about it and smiled. Told you so, Sterling. Should have listened to me. That's when Corporal Vaughn decided enough was enough. Called a meeting after hours with 6 of us. No officers, no senior NCOs, just the people who'd been dealing with Briggs directly. We're documenting everything, Vaughn said. Every comment, every action, every time he abuses his position. With dates, times, and witnesses. We're building a case so solid nobody can ignore it. We started keeping logs. Small notebooks where we'd write down everything Briggs did. His exact words, who was present, what time it happened. Took photos of paperwork showing the impossible deadlines he'd assigned. Private Everett kept every text message and email from Briggs. Specialist Mercer had the original leave approval form before Briggs changed it. We backed up everything digitally and kept paper copies at home. Took us 3 months. Built a file 6 inches thick. 47 documented incidents with multiple witnesses for each one. Time-stamped photos, saved emails, written statements from 12 different soldiers. We didn't go to our chain of command. Briggs owned them. Instead, Vaughn contacted the Inspector General hotline. Sent them everything anonymously. Let them investigate from the outside. 2 weeks later, IG showed up unannounced. Started interviewing everyone in the supply section. Briggs didn't know what hit him. Tried his usual tricks. Claimed we were lying. Said it was disgruntled soldiers mad about legitimate discipline. But we had documentation for everything. Proof he'd changed dates, forged signatures, and systematically harassed people. The investigation took a month. They interviewed soldiers who transferred to other units. Found patterns going back 4 years. Turns out Briggs had been doing this at his last 2 duty stations too. He got relieved of duty immediately. No more supervising soldiers. Stuck in a back office processing paperwork while they finished the investigation. Final verdict came down harsh. Article 15 for abuse of authority. Reduction in rank to sergeant. Transferred to a different base where everyone knew his history. His career was effectively over. The new staff sergeant who took over our section was the opposite. Treated everyone with respect. Actually cared about developing soldiers instead of tearing them down. Morale improved within weeks. Sterling's story had a good ending too. His ex-fiancée reached out 3 months later. Apologized for believing rumors someone had been spreading about him. They got back together. Married 6 months after that. We never found out who spread those rumors, but Briggs had been friends with the fiancée's roommate. Made comments about talking to her on social media. Not hard to connect the dots. The whole experience taught us something important. Toxic leaders rely on people staying silent. They count on soldiers being too afraid or too tired to fight back. But when you document everything and build a solid case, even the most protected people can't hide. The system works when you force it to work properly. Vaughn got promoted to sergeant a year later, put in charge of the same supply section. First thing he did was establish an open door policy and a real system for reporting problems. Nobody in our unit had to deal with another Briggs situation because we'd proven that soldiers have power when they work together and use the right channels. The toxic leader who thought he was untouchable learned the hard way that nobody's actually untouchable. Not when enough people decide they've had enough.